we're live, hopefully, maybe. Freaking. Hold on, let me double check, make sure I got my damn party audio. Yeah. A few comments, event settings, audio sharing settings, include microphone and audio. Video clips, share party audio is on.
Hello. Hello?
Can you?
Oh,
Oh.
yes, I can hear myself now. Okay.
Yay!
Noise. Oh, God. So this is going to be a heated one. This is
Yeah,
going
hold
to
on.
be a
I gotta
fun discussion.
reset my damn.
Oh, right. You need to put yourself in the right category. That. Okay.
Oh, it's saying it's in the right category.
There it goes. That's
Okay.
it.
We good?
I think so.
Okay. Uh.
So,
So,
this
this is
game.
Final Fantasy. I'm just working on something else here in the process. Bad timing. Uh, Final Fantasy Strangers of Paradise, made by.
Stranger Danger.
It's Square Enix, but it was
Published by Square Enix.
Team Ninja that actually did the game, so that's why it's got a very Neo-ish combat feel
Okay.
to it.
Yeah, there's some discussions of different stuff that we got. Like this is going to be a multi-tier game talk. We're going to try and get through as much of it in an hour as possible here. There's a lot of information to unpack. There's a lot of information to go over. Yeah, so yeah, like you just said, published by Square Enix. Square Enix holds the license rights, so of course they were like, they have to sign off on it. But yeah, also like you just got done saying, the whole fact that it is the Neo team. Well, they.
Let's be quick.
So I guess it is actually the Neo team. When I was checking through, I was seeing it was I guess I don't know the Japanese name of the team. There's something with a Y, it's like Yoshidi or something like that. Which is technically the B team of the Neo team. Like they're the ones that for the DLC of Neo and everything. Yeah, you can see the booty. We do that. So yeah, this game is definitely is. I
Different.
mean, hell, you could turn the game volume all the way off. If you want to. But anyway, so yeah, it's definitely different. In all honesty, I really didn't like it. I just myself I played two demos of this thing. I played what was it? Basically the alpha, played the beta. Then we had a launch demo that they put that out to try and finally get people persuaded over to buy this thing. And as far as I know, this game sold average, which to experience that's a fail, like a major fail, especially if it's Final Fantasy related. That's huge. That Square Enix gets very pissed off when Final Fantasy IP doesn't do megabucks, especially when you have Final Fantasy 7 Remake and you have Final Fantasy 15 that just did really well. And they've been riding the wave of successes. The Pixel remasters did incredibly well. They're the original versions of the games that were remastered. All six of them are available on the PC right now. But this one just did not connect. It did not click. Is it because it's Neo style combat? No, I don't believe that. But I do believe that is part of the reason. I don't think that is the reason why. So the combat in this is on the outside looking in, it's fine. It's all right. It's kind of cool. It's the real vibe. It's the lock on. It's the hitting R1 and R2 in a certain pattern to make these big moves happen and everything. There's no stamina bar, so you don't have to worry about. It's more or less just like hack and slash gameplay version of Neo.
Don't have the stamina bar, but if you see down there in the bottom left, that purple pinkish bar underneath the health bar,
Yeah,
that's your
you do
that's
have
your
meter to burn.
magic. Yeah, that's how you do your magic spells, your combos, got your
Technically, that
combo
is still.
moves.
I do believe they still count that as Was it that bar that they were counting as stamina bar, or was it another bar? Because there was technically something of a stamina. No, it's the yellow bar. That's what it is. The yellow bar is
Yellow
the
bar
stamina
is
bar.
your core break.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
your how many times you can get hit before your guy
Bring up
goes into a
bring
stun
up
state.
your upgrade menu real quick. You'll see what I'm saying. There's 3 bars that they actually track. Battle settings. Yep. So you have your MP,
Oh
HP,
yeah,
your MP, and then you have your break. That's what it is. Not stamina, break. Okay, that's what I was thinking of. So as you can see, you definitely it's the Neo type of thing where you have your hat, your torso, your gloves, your pants, your shoes, and everything, and then you have your weapon. Um, that's the same kind of vibe as what they do with the Neo games. Um, the problem is there's not a whole lot of diversity of outfits that you're unlocking, or not even that you're unlocking, that you're finding. It's all RNG based. So whether or not your team
yeah.
has a really, I mean, you're going to look stupid no matter what the hell you do in this game,
I
for the most part. Nothing
yeah.
is going to match up as well as you want it to, unless you literally are hoarding fucking everything. Which that to me, I think is
Well,
really
it's not
dumb.
even really hoarding anything at that point because you're constantly upgrading the level of your gear, so it's not even like
It's
you
not
can't
Neo
hoard
though.
this level one piece of gear that looks really cool and then upgrade it all the way up to like the 117 like my knuckles there.
See, I'm used to playing Neo, where I can take that
You can
gear,
you can do
I
the
can
transmog.
retransform it, and if I can make it look however I want to while keeping those stats. At the same time, I also come from Neo, where if there is certain gear that I'm looking for, I can actually go and fight phantoms, or I can buy off the shopkeep or something when I go
Hmm.
back to the dojo area, and I can get the gear that I want. I can look cool doing it, and just like I said, there's some weird stuff. So they took some idea. They took like half of the idea of Neo and they threw it in here. But they
Damn.
only half baked. So as you'll see right here too with the combat,
I'm getting
this is why I said on the surface it looks all right until you start to actually get hands on with it. There is no stun lock on
no.
any enemy unless you use a meter burn on like your R2 ability. Then you can stun lock them for a split second, just enough to maybe get one or two hits in, and then they come back and just smack the shit out of you. Every single enemy does it, and I don't know why it's broken or not. Right? Especially when Neo, literally. So I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this on
Yeah,
Neo.
you can see there I just got my ass completely kicked because those horses are a nightmare.
Your your biggest drawback in the Neo, it's not even a drawback. It's the your biggest thing that you have to watch out for, I should say, in the Neo combat is your stamina bar. So you can do so many hits before you run out of stamina. This doesn't have the stamina bar, but the problem is when okay, so in Neo, when you do a hit, they get a little oof back animation. So if you have enough stamina bar to do like 4 hits, you're going to get 4 separate animations
Hmm.
to hold them back, to stun lock them a bit, and then you can follow up with like a big attack because you'll end up breaking them down to where they fall on the ground. You can just stab the shit out of them on the ground. This game has nothing at all even remotely close to that. It is literally just you are just beating on an enemy until they disappear. Till they
Hmm.
till or until their meter runs out and you hit the O button and you do a big finisher on them that way.
Yeah, which that difficulty goes like level wise.
The problem is that meter does absolutely fucking nothing when you are just getting your ass beat while you are hitting them. So you're hitting each other at the exact same time. Every single enemy, every single engagement, whether it's a boss fight, an enemy fight, whatever it is, you are hitting each other at the same time. If your damage output doesn't exceed theirs, yeah, I mean, you're first of all that first enemy's gonna fuck you up. The second one's
That
gonna kill
goes
you.
along with your gear level too. I've noticed that too. If say this is mission level 104, and if my gear level was under 104, like
I mean,
by like
it
five
would
levels or
make
something like
sense
that,
that
you're
it
really
would
gonna get
because,
screwed.
like I said, if your damage output isn't more than, or if your defense and damage output isn't more than what the damage output of the enemy, then yeah, that makes sense. The numbers are going to be not in your favor, and it's it's just a very weird. Like I see the simplified idea that they're trying to go for of making this game a little more simple so everybody can pick it up and hack and slash through it. The problem is the execution of the ideas is way off. Like it's almost like it definitely feels like the B team not knowing what the hell they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've worked on DLC, they've had the full finished project. To me, this feels like a team that has had the full finished like game engine project of like Neo One, and they got it, and then they were like, okay, now we want you to build some levels and build some boss fights, and we want you guys, and it's that team that's making this full game. Is the one that just makes levels and just makes the boss fights and puts the storyline together and as a DLC. Like they just feel like the DLC secondary team that made this. It does not feel like because there's no weight on the character. There's no stun lock. Um, the job trees, the
Well,
way
they're
that
stun
all
locked. They're
these
stun lock on you. They pound the shit out of you, like as you were seeing with those horses.
it's
I
true,
kept running
but
back
that
and forth, and I literally couldn't do anything. Every time I
makes
went to
no
hit him, it
fucking
was
sense.
game
Like
over.
that makes no sense of the execution of the game idea. Like why is that a thing? Um,
Yeah.
and then all these job trees up here,
Yeah, that's what I was
and me
getting
and him were going
to.
back and forth in a conversation about like
Because you
whether or
start
not
out with your basic ones. I think you start out with what? Start out with swordsman, pugilist,
so
mage, and duelist. And
my
you
my
eventually.
thing of it is, I mean, yes, there's a million jobs on here. So
Mm,
if they just took the swordsman, they took maybe the Ronin or something, which is the secondary. Well, bring up all of them again. Just flip it over to all tab.
hmm, gotcha.
Okay. Okay. So
You were talking about
so you have your swordsman
Ronin.
class. So the way it starts off with, it should have been swordsman, maybe Ronin, and you'd have your one of the green ones. What is it? The dual knife wielding ones, the same classes that your teammates have. Those would be like, so then you'd have two classes for your two flipping classes that you have, and then you have two other classes for your two buddy backup dudes that are following you around. Maybe maybe one more also for the mage class, of course.
Yeah, as you see, you get.
And then he clicks out. I was still trying to like
Okay.
think. I'm right in the middle of the damn.
Well,
Right
you
in
were
the
talking
damn
about the other
document.
people, so I thought you were hopping over there. So
No, no.
okay, so you were
I'm
talking about the mage
trying to make.
class.
Okay, so what it should end up being is okay. So you have like your mage class. Now you have the two other blue classes over on the right hand side.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I'm saying is at the bottom of this mage class, where you would unlock it, as soon as you unlock those three classes right there, it should bring down another part of this drop down menu, whoop, and then it totally takes away from
Oh,
all
that's what
this
you're talking about. So
congestion
it's not a whole
on the
separate
menu.
tree. It just adds on
Exactly.
to that specific tree.
Exactly.
So this tree
It's
would
just like
drop down
whoop.
from that tree, and so on
Exactly.
and so
That would
forth.
make it so much fucking easier
Okay.
just to navigate through like a few different menus instead of having 20 fucking damn menus that you have to go through of different upgrade trees and everything. It would be so much simpler. Like, why give so many goddamn job trees on this thing when you could just put it into one section? It makes no sense. It's little things like that just like, this makes this so much more complicated. If I'm looking for one specific type of move in the white mage class, or maybe it's not white mage, maybe it's a black mage, or whatever the fuck they're called, the red mages and all that stuff. Now I have to go through all these different class job trees and find that one specific move that I'm trying to unlock so I can put it maybe on my other secondary moves. And it takes 10 minutes just to hunt down one fucking thing where they could just put all the stuff in. So you start off with the regular mage class, and then you have a section in that mage class that is white mage. You have another section in that class that goes to the red mage, and another section that goes to black mage, or whatever the hell they're all called. And just put them all in one fucking category. It makes it so much easier. You could just
Yeah.
scroll down and you find it. Boom. Sword fighter, okay? So sword fighter would be, if you go all the way down to the bottom of the first one that you unlock, And then Swordfighter would just be like another bloop. It'd be another section that would unlock as soon as
Yeah.
you unlock it down there in the job tree. That would
Okay.
make so much more sense. Like, why did I not do that? I don't get it. It's the little things like that, though,
Yeah.
all throughout this game sprinkled, that make me just go,
Yeah.
why?
And as far as the job class stuff goes, too, I mean, again, you're starting off with your base classes. As you pick up the different weapon types, you'll
Mm-hmm.
unlock the other base classes. And as like he was just stating, you basically you gotta go. You're fighting, you're earning job points, and then you unlock all your skills for the
The other
jobs.
thing
So
is, too,
unlock different.
you have to go through two different skill trees to unlock some of these, a third fucking job skill tree.
Yep.
So you actually have to go through, to get warrior class, you actually have to go through Ronin, which is a totally separate fucking class type, just to get the warrior class to go back to the other class
Well,
type that you're
you got to
doing.
do
That makes no sense
looks
whatsoever
like
at all either.
swordsman. Yeah,
No,
swordsman
it's Ronin.
and
Yeah, so Swordsman and Ronin.
Ronin to
Because
unlock the
Ronin
warrior
is a totally
class.
separate fucking, like, Ronin is supposed to be like the samurai heavy hitters. What the fuck is warrior doing in that? That should be at the bottom of
Well,
the sword fighter class, because those are orange. Those are not red. If you're going to color code stuff, make it make sense. Put it in the same fucking class category. It's color coding for a reason. That just drives me fucking nuts. You're fucking up your goddamn color code. It's just every little fucking detail like that they try and do in this, they fuck it up one way or the other. I'm just like, why? And then you get into the combat, and it just drives you fucking nuts because all the stuff that's wrong there. Not to mention the story also. The way the story is written on this is just, that's a whole other fucking situation of like, why is the story so fucking mind-numbingly just, um, I get the story that they're trying to tell on this. I think
hmm
we're good and done with job classes.
yeah. All that I can bring into is to your equipment. When you come down to your equipment, you have, as you can see here, like these gauntlets they're set for different job classes. So essentially, what you're trying to do is completely RNG on what you're getting and what job class is going to be for and what percentile it is going to be. But essentially, what as you're going through, you're looking for like these are set for assassin. So I'll get 76% affinity on assassin. So if I was assassin, I'd equip these, and so on and so forth with the rest of the gear. But
The problem is
essentially,
it doesn't do
you're
shit in the fucking
yeah.
battles. As
And
soon
what
as you
that
get into the
does is when
battles,
you
this affinity stuff doesn't do anything. It
um,
really doesn't.
I mean, you get HP strength bonuses. This is one damage don't
That
well
Yeah, that 150.
splatting an
That's like
enemy. Increase
somebody
by
swats you. That's about 400 fucking hit
yeah.
points that you're taking.
I
So that
mean
150 ain't doing shit.
yeah. You also get in the job trees you get your different combo abilities, and as you can see here, I got all a decent list altogether.
I like how they all use just one block, and somebody had to fucking actually program that on there saying that they all use just one block.
There are some that use two blocks, believe it or
uh,
not. Um, and then you get different command abilities too as you go through the game, through the different
Look at this
classes.
punk ass looking scorpion asshole. Sorry, your
You know
outfit
what?
is.
Shush.
Look at this bullshit.
Then we'll go down. We got your party. You get four.
Okay, the characters. This is going into story mode once again. So Sophia looks fucking great. She might be one of the best ones out of them all. Neon, all right. Jed's annoying as shit. Zach, what the fuck is his name? Ash. Ash. He is kind of Captain Obvious, and Jack is. I mean, his fucking goddamn. He's got his head so far up his ass about chaos. It's fucking unreal. Um, to me, I think you should have been able to make a custom character for every single one of these. You give us these default designs, but we should be able to customize them to look however we want to. Every single, especially Jack, like Neo fucking 2 had full customization character. In the original game, you had full customization over your characters. This one, you're giving those fucking pre-canned dumbasses for the most part. I mean, like I said, Sophia's not so bad. Neon's passable. The rest of them are fucking idiots. Jack, Ash, and Jed. They're fucking idiots. There's no. I. What's the redeeming factor on any three of them?
Uh,
Jack's all about chaos, head his ass the whole time.
yeah,
Chaos, 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 chaos,
yeah,
chaos.
and then he gets his.
Jed's annoying as fuck. He's just Pronto wannabe.
Mm-hmm.
Which Pronto is already fucking goddamn like, oh god, shut up, kid.
Yeah,
Ash is fucking over there like, oh, I think we should be careful around this place. Oh, I think, oh my god, I can't do this anymore. Oh my god, I can't do this anymore. Oh my god, I can't do this anymore. We need to take a rest. We need to take a rest. We need to take a rest.
yeah. Then you
Like,
got Neon there. She's
Neon has half a brain in her head, so she's
yeah,
passable.
yeah, and then
Sophia
she's
knows
also
what
a
the fuck's
fucking.
going on.
Ash, Jed, and Sophia are not from this timeline as well. They're from different timeline. Neon's from the timeline. Um,
I literally missed
I
anything about
totally.
Jed. It's like him being from a different timeline. That went right over the top of my head because I'm just like, this kid's
Yeah,
so fucking annoying.
Neon's the only one that's from the timeline that you're in, and that goes. This is definitely going into the story here with this.
Then why
That
does
whole
she have a modern day dress on if she's from the timeline of the medieval ages? That
Neon?
makes
No, Sophia was the
yeah,
one that was wearing the black dress. When you
yeah,
get
but Neon literally has like a sailor's dress on, which is it looks very modern day like sailor's dress, and then she has some like wrappings to her. Like if anything, Neon should be wearing I don't know, it's like a fucking like medieval armor set or something, or like chainmail or something. If Neon's from like the actual time zone that you're in, everybody else is wearing. That's the other thing too. So everybody in the world is wearing medieval clothes except for the main cast. That's how you know they're a main character because they look like a modern day person, and that makes that to me. I'm just like okay, but like I said, that if Neon's from the modern, if Neon is from that world that you're running around in, then she should be looking like that world. That she should be like that's a plot twist character. You could tell right off the fucking bat after seeing it. Plus, the other one that made me laugh too was they tried to copy Devil May Cry, where every one of the major boss fights gives you a new waifu, like it's Trish and fucking lady from the big giant boss fights in that. Yeah, again, I think the only redeeming fucking character out of this whole thing was maybe Sophia and Neon, and Neon's character kind of is fucked up anyways because her setting's all off. The whole thing of like that. Okay, so I still need to watch a video to make sense of exactly what the hell they're trying to say. So there's people in a spaceship somewheres or something that is resetting people's memories or something, and Jack figures it out and tries to break the cycle. What the fuck is
yes,
that bullshit?
because the crystals are meant to like absorb the dark mist, which is their memory, so they don't remember what the fuck's going on because the
A form of
Luthinians are sending them
control.
back to fucking do something like regain reset the world, the balance of the world, so that it's got a perfect balance of light and darkness, so that their little pocket dimension can stay where it's at and they can be happy. And over
I don't
several,
remember what the two main good and bad characters are. Dissidia, but they must be working with those two because that's those two's jobs is to keep the world in balance.
mm-hmm.
Again, they're trying to add lore to a lore that's already established by another game. Even though Dissidia NG is a really shitty fucking storyline, it establishes lore. Like those characters are already there.
Mm-hmm.
So then they're trying to redo those characters into what's it called? Athenians? Albanians? What the fuck? Yeah, that just sounds like a really shitty rip-off of fucking Horizon Forbidden West in all honesty.
Time for a change.
With Zenith and all
Oh
that.
shit, I am full of fucking.
Yeah, it's
I haven't
that's
broke down
that
shit for a
that's
minute.
my main problem with the storyline in this. Everything that they do, it just looks like It just feels like a really shitty version of something else that's been done way better before. You know, it's like they're trying to do time travel, and it's like, for fuck's sake, even Final Fantasy 13 story was better than this shit. Of like lightning going back and trying to save the world. Which is part of the reason why my big fan theory for this was maybe this had something to do with Dissidia, and like, because they were hinting at time travel and everything. I'm like, oh, maybe they're going through the time loop warps or something. I think if they had done that, it would have saved the story a little bit more. Even though the city is a really shitty story, I mean, it's still, like this and the city are kind of on the same fucking plane of being really fucking like half-baked fucking stories. Anyways, they could have looped more universes together and everything, and given a whole reason why, like the time. Okay, did they ever say why the universes keep repeating it amongst itself? This is a prequel to Final Fantasy, where the Final Fantasy universe keeps repeating itself over and over and over again. Warriors of Light show up with crystals and eggs and this and that and the other thing, and they're always the four Warriors of Light going on a journey to save the world. Did this ever once give a reason for that to happen? When this is a prequel to all that stuff happening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing not, or are you just
What?
totally missed the question?
Sorry, I got like sucked into
Oh
what I was
my
doing there for a
fucking
second. You're
god.
saying something about a
This,
prequel.
this,
Um,
this fucking guy. Oh my fucking
well, I was
god.
thinking I got.
That's what I have to work with.
Just
So
reread it
new
by me.
podcast members, applications going out soon.
Oh
Um,
baby.
I'm gonna try this one more time. So this is a prequel to the Final Fantasy storyline.
Mm-hmm.
The Final Fantasy storyline is about the cycle repeating over and over and over again with different Warriors of Light. The four Warriors of Light with their fucking eggs and the crystals and this and that and the other thing. Final Fantasy 16 is going to be like the 16th universe that is repeated over and over and over again. This is a prequel to that stuff starting up and happening, where these guys are sending people back in the past or whatever to different time zones and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Basically different realms in the whole universe of the multi-dimension that they're setting up now with Dissidia and this game. So, do they actually give a reason for the fucking dimension or the universes to keep repeating over and over and over again? Do they ever give us a reason why there's 16 Final Fantasy universes and why this is a prequel to the reason why that started happening 16 times
Well,
over again?
it kind of explains it in this because the Lufians made their own little pocket dimension, which is perfect. And they keep sending the strangers, like Jack and the guys, back into this dimension to
So what's so
regather,
special about this dimension?
rebalance between light and dark. So their little pocket dimension they have there can stay perfect like it is.
So what they're
So,
trying to tell me is that they also sent Lightning and her crew and Sephiroth and Cloud, and they sent the Final Fantasy 9 cast and the Final Fantasy 11 cast. Although that universe got blown the fuck up, so now it's what, Final Fantasy 14 or whatever cast. So they sent all that stuff. They sent all those people back to those universes to try and keep the balance of light and dark in all those different little pocket
I
universes.
not 100% on that because most of the Final Fantasy games are like, I think, God, which one
They're all
was it?
connected. Oh, they're all connected
I
now
think
because
like
the city.
six was a different was it six? They became, instead of going after the crystals, it was the power of the espers, which were basically the summons.
Same shit. Same shit. If it's a summon and all that stuff, it's still the Warriors of Light going after their
Yeah,
main
because when you think
powers.
about it, all of them got like something's going on, like
Like you
somebody's
said.
trying to destroy the world, and then
Yeah, of course.
these
And
group of
they are the
people get
four
together and
Warriors
they're
of
just
Light
like,
that are.
no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no, not happening.
Uh huh. No shit. But what's the point of this fucking game then? What's the point of the story? If that it's just to tell like, oh, there's some higher assholes. Guess what? Those assholes that you just seen as being the higher assholes, those aren't the higher assholes. There is people that literally have the power to destroy the universe, and they are the fucking king and queen of the fucking good and the evil that they established in Dissidia. So what the fuck is the point of this game?
Hmm. This one in particular, honestly, it was just the prequel to the first Final Fantasy to set up like what was going on, and because at the end of it, it basically shows that they finally fucking Jack basically kind of helps break the cycle, so to speak.
So
They get
pretty
sent
much,
back
this,
2,000 years in the past before Final Fantasy 1 starts, and
uh,
it goes to that whole scene where you'll see like the beginning of Final Fantasy 1 where they're talking about, oh, Garland stole the princess. Well, that's Jack. And you'll see like they're all, you'll find out that Jed, Sophia, Ash, Neon are all the fiends, the four
so why
elementals.
couldn't they have done this in a movie, like a 2 hour fucking CGI movie? Then
I know.
that would have been way easier to produce. That would have been way easier to make. A lot less fucking time and money, and it would have been the same fucking quality of entertainment as this shit. This brings nothing new to the table. A prequel to a series that has been going since the 1980s with 16 fucking installments in it, and you're going to give us a prequel to the first game that adds nothing to the actual fucking series overall. Final Fantasy VII Remake totally rewrites what the fuck the ending of Final Fantasy VII is going to be. That's why it's a remake, because they're retelling the story. This is just like, oh, it just adds a really shitty version of the main character, adds a really fucking half-baked fucking adventure that turns Jack into chaos, which you already know he's going to turn into chaos, because what the fuck is the story of the first game? Garland is chaos. He is Jack Garland. This game has no fucking point to it. It's a literally pointless fucking adventure.
Eh, to some people. I mean, the whole Final Fantasy series,
The
it's
fact of it is it's a pointless adventure. How could you dispute that? There's nothing there. It doesn't add anything. Like if if you were making your own custom character, maybe, and it wasn't Jack being just all like chaos, 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 chaos the whole time, and he was actually bringing something to the table, sure, okay, cool. We've added some lore that says that all of a sudden here's the reason why there's so many warriors of light and why the city happened and everything. Again, I'm not a big fan of the Cydia, but they could have made the Cydia actually more interesting with this game. They could have fucking righted that wrong also with this game by actually giving you so they could have easily introduced as like the big overlords is that I cannot remember what the fuck their names are, but they're the ones that are like the queen that is the head of the good guys and the devilish asshole that is the head of the bad guys. This could have easily just expanded the lore on Final Fantasy hugely. It could have actually tied everything together, and the reason why there's so many dimensions and everything. Instead, it's just this. It's adding characters to the first game's universe that don't even need to be there, and you're actually naming and making into characters other than what the characters, because the characters are basically, they don't talk at all in the first game.
no.
No, okay.
There was like
So
really
therefore,
no.
those
I think it was
characters
probably about the second or third one. Maybe it
exactly.
was the second one that the
So
characters actually talked.
there's a reason why you love the first game so much, and it's because that character is you. Because the character doesn't talk,
Hmm.
so you are in that world. This one, guess what? That's the first game is not that anymore. When you go back and play the first game, your main character is now Jack from this bullshit. That's what they've made. They fucked up the first game.
Well,
Lore.
theoretically, no, because you're not Jack. Jack becomes Garland. So
Oh,
initially, the
excuse me. Yes,
first
yes,
boss
yes,
you
yes.
fight
That's
is
right.
Jack, and then
Yes.
the
Okay,
elementals
sorry.
you
Yes.
fight are Neon, Sophia, Ash, and Jed.
Yes, that's true because
Because he said,
the last cutscene is literally the actual Warriors of Light that are in the first game coming
because
through the
even
door.
right there,
Okay.
or Jack's like good. We'll train the next the next group of warriors, the next group of the warriors, and then it's basically leading
The
up to.
warriors will be born in our realm. So
Hmm.
technically, so here's the other weird part about that though. That's not up to Jack to decide. There is a power that is so much more powerful than him than Garland even thinks about. Because Garland is just he is just a foot soldier for the other ones that made the realms in Dissidia. Like he is literally one of their foot soldiers in Dissidia. So this game still doesn't make any fucking sense. Like either which way you go with it, I'm trying to make sense of the lore in this and actually
Yeah.
tie it to like what the fuck is going on with this in the broader picture of things, and it just doesn't happen. It doesn't work any which way you go about it. Like I don't know if they were just trying. It's like they can't retcon Dissidia because it's linked all the universes together. As much as they want to, they're not going to. It's happened. People have seen that story. Everybody knows what, especially when Final Fantasy 7, 13, and 15 connect all to Dissidia in the way of time travel also. And now you're trying to connect this universe into that same realm. That's why I was like, this feels like everything's connecting to Dissidia. But then this game goes out of its way to try and be like, no, we're separate, we're different, which makes no fucking sense. That it should be playing into that. Like I said, this game is just so fucked on its lore. It's unreal. I get it. It's a prequel. I get it that yes, okay, Garland turns. The only moment that really is like, oh shit, that's kind of cool, is the ending, where they are basically playing off the established lore that's already there for the first game. Everything that's the build up to that established lore, where they don't just copy and paste from the first game, it's
Hmm.
trash. It's terrible, fucking god awful writing trash, leading up to
Let's
that
see.
established fucking lore that's there. Like, how many fucking times have you also heard them just like whining and crying that, oh my god, we need a checkpoint? That it's like these guys are supposed to be
Yeah, you hear it a
ultra
lot.
fucking
Like,
badass
oh, I can't
fucking.
keep going like this. Oh, we need to go. We can establish
Like,
a base camp here when
why?
you fucking find a checkpoint. There's like no save point nearby. I mean, it does get a little annoying.
Um, my other thing that I was thinking of too was okay, combat wise. To go back to combat for a second, this game would be a lot more fun, I think, if it was FF7 remake combat on it. So you have your meters there and everything, um, and you just have like free free flow combat. You can switch between all your different party members and start doing tag team moves and shit.
Hmm.
I think that would make this so much more cooler.
Oh yeah, okay, like Final Fantasy Seven
Yeah,
remake.
it's a
Yeah,
remake, like I just said.
yeah, you can flip back and forth
Um,
between everybody and have them.
yeah,
Like, I mean, the only real control you have over your
and
other
do like
two
big
party members
major
is you
fucking
push left
build
and
up
right on the
with
D-pad
boom,
as their bars charge up. And you're like,
which is basically FF15 by
it's
race
on you,
with
Sophia,
everything
or
there.
it's up to you, Neon. Or go wild, Jed.
Yeah,
Show me what you
well,
got, Ash. You know,
they
shit
don't do
like that.
much.
I mean,
Like
when you
I'm
tell
still
them
trying
to
to
fucking let loose,
still trying to figure out
they
what the
do
hell
some
moves they
work,
were
but
actually doing. Because I was slapping that on one of the boss fights, and I just watched them go up and like punch them a couple times, and they run away. I'm like, that was your move?
I
Because when
mean,
you said
sometimes
that
they
on your
feel
stream
completely
one time,
useless. Other times, I mean, they got their.
they're all they do is they take the aggro from the boss fight so you can heal up. That's literally the only thing I've seen them do so far. Other than that, they just get their ass beat when they run around in circles.
We survived.
We need to patch ourselves up.
I don't know. The demos had me interested in this to see where the hell the story was going because I really didn't think they were going to drop the ball this badly with it. That's why my Let's Talk that I did on the trailers and everything, I'm like, I think there's going to be something more here. And unfortunately, they dropped the fuck out of the ball with it.
Hmm.
There wasn't anything extra there. That's why I said, like, unless this game ties in with like the rest of the already established lore of the universe and everything, this game is not going to do well.
Well, I don't know. Like, I'm assuming that they've already got DLC planned for it because with the launch, there's a version that comes with the. You can pay for the season pass, or you can pay for
I
it
would
separately.
I would think it's gonna be probably just a couple extra levels. I don't see them I don't see them making a ton of money off of this, so I don't think it's gonna be like story expansions or anything.
Mm.
And in all honesty, what would they do for a story expansion? Because the story is already expanded into the point of you're already in the first game's storyline.
Mm-hmm.
What is it going to be? Like you're playing as the original fucking cast of the first game? Well, you can't do that unless you make custom characters because
Or like it dives
that totally
deeper
destroys the
into
original.
the different characters' story, like what happened to them originally, like their background story. Like we already got pretty much have all of Jack's background story. I mean, they probably give more on.
But do you care? Do you really give a fuck?
Yeah, it would be interesting, but I mean,
I don't think so, because none of them have a fucking goddamn half of a goddamn brain in their head to make it interesting enough for me to actually want to go through that story. Like, I could give a fuck less about what Ash was doing, or Jed. Especially Jed. Like, I just don't care about that character whatsoever at all. Maybe Sophia, because I think she was, she's a queen or some shit. She could have something halfway, Maybe Neon Neon get fucking trapped up there with that first original, like, squad that went up to go defeat Chaos or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That might be, but then you're looking at, what, 2 episodes for a season pass?
Damn it.
Have they actually said what it is in the season pass?
I have no idea.
Well, that's some stuff that you should know before actually buying the season pass. What the fuck is going to be in it?
I haven't bought the season pass yet either, though. I haven't bothered looking up what's going to be in the season pass either yet, because I just literally beat the game.
Okay, let's see if we even have a description about the season pass. Players who pre-order. Well, the game's a little bit past pre-order, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely past pre-order.
Various game contents to acquire. No, okay, so they're not giving me shit on the actual. Wait. Season pass.
Oh.
Okay, let's.
Shit, what am I talking about? Like.
Let me actually look and see if we have any word on what could be in the season pass for this.
Oh, I missed a couple apparently.
Paradise season pass.
Like even here in your archives, you've got like for every area you got a little description, and this is all from. As I was going through, I figured it out. All these fools missives and reports are literally from Astos' point of view. As you go through, you start to realize this is Astos' point of view, talking about what's going on. Because Astos comes off as a bad guy, but he's actually not. He's like
he is an Astos.
Yeah, he's an Astos, but
yeah.
He, Jed, not Jed.
He's a rip-off character of
Jack.
Fucking Happy Chaos. Literally, he's Happy Chaos from Guilty Gear Strive. So it's really shitty. He even looks like him. Like that's sad part. He even looks like Happy Chaos from Guilty Gear Strive, except for he's just a really fucking melodramatic fucking asshole version. It looks good. I'm an elf, and I know.
I'm a dark elf. And
dark elves know everything. I'm sorry.
Well, he's just an.
He's a shit character.
It's like he's a clone. Basically, they made a clone to guide these guys through, and then when their crystals get too charged with memory or get filled up with memories, that they're gonna get sent back to be reset.
Yes,
otherwise, they're gonna start fucking figuring out what the hell's going on. And then Jack figures this out, and then tells Astos, like, hey, I don't care how many times it takes, just every time I come back, remind me, this is what we need to do. Remind me. And there's like one scene where he's like, Astos is like getting fucking frustrated. He's like, Jesus Christ, dude, this is like the Third time I've had to tell you this. And what the hell's going on? You know, like I can understand Astos is getting pretty pissed off about it, and then he gets to the point where where you actually like end up having to fight him as a boss. He's just like, I'm too filled with hatred and memories and sorrow and all this crap. I just end it, move on.
Season Pass included the Recreation game has 3 new missions. New missions named Trials of the Dragon King, Wanderer of the Rift, and Different Future. Unclear how long the missions will be or when they will be. It does state the player will need to have finished the game in order to access this Season Pass missions when they become available. The only other tidbit information, including the Strange of Paradise Season Pass, will become available as purchased separately from the Deluxe Edition, likely around the same time for DLC. So it's literally you're getting 3 hours of content in the Season Pass. Maybe, if that. If it takes you an hour to even to get through it. It's 3 missions. So they're basically what-if missions. If that Season Pass is $30, that is definitely not worth it. That is definitely not worth it. Yeah, they're not setting this game up for a bright future. I hate to tell you, if it's just that.
Yeah. Let's see.
This game is also a serious one and done. Like once you finish the main story, there's really no reason to go back and do that.
I mean, unless you're like going for the platinum. I mean,
which is not worth the platinum.
Yeah, some people do it. Yeah. Me, it's probably gonna get put up there and picked away at slowly, like I'm gonna be doing with Elden Ring. Like I'll just get like, because I got a huge backlog that I'm working on.
Yeah, I think the backlog would be more proficient to go.
I mean, it'll just be like, you know, okay, cool. I really don't want to play this game with my backlog right now. I'm gonna go, do a little bit of working on to get the platinum on this game or that game.
I would say this too. I'm pretty damn sure this is going to be the last time you see a Koei Tecmo game be made at all with Square. I'm pretty sure, because this was probably their like, okay, the Cydia, everybody fucking hated Cydia, we'll give you one more try with Strange of Paradise. On top of that too, development of this started literally with Nomura coming up with an idea for a totally separate brand new game of Final Fantasy that was just like more of like a beat 'em up hack and slash. And Fujiwara is actually the one that talked to them being like, well, what if we put this Final Fantasy 1 storyline and we mix that together and we really put a beat 'em up hack and slash, and then basically Square reached out to Koei Tecmo is just like, hey, you want to have a second try to not fuck it up? And we got this shit.
Yeah.
I just think the Neo.
I mean, it feels kind of like it's just kind of like something there, like a filler game to keep everybody interested in the Final Fantasy series while they're waiting on 16 and everything to come out.
They got Final Fantasy 7 fucking both on the console and the PC, which they got them by the balls with that. Final Fantasy 16 is most likely coming out this year. Final Fantasy 14, literally they had to shut down servers because there's so many fucking people playing that. Final Fantasy is good.
Oh yeah.
People are so fucking into Final Fantasy. This is probably the most I've ever heard people talk about Final Fantasy since the fucking 90s. Like, even back in the FF10 days, people were like, oh, there's like these hot chicks in a Final Fantasy game, but it never really took off. Right now, it's like we have the waifus, we have the badasses, we have the online communities, and then we have this shit. Like, just, either which way you put this game in any category, it doesn't fit for, like, their big fucking role that they're on right now. Which is sad to say, because, and here is the biggest, like, why I put this game to so high standards. Neo is the game that put me into the Souls series. Like, that's the game that made me go, I like this series now. I like this genre. Neo 2 made me go, you can do so much more with this. This is actually really cool. And I have a custom character, and I can actually make myself...
Well, you're no longer fucking... What's his tits?
William.
Yeah. You're no longer William. You're somebody completely your own custom character
So
and a different
when
storyline and
I
timeline, I believe.
when I heard that team along with Final Fantasy, after I just was like getting really into Final Fantasy, it's like, okay, I actually like Final Fantasy 7 now. I like Final Fantasy 8. I always liked Final Fantasy 13. Final Fantasy 15 Royale Edition was actually really fucking cool too.
Oh yeah.
Final Fantasy 14 is the first ever MMO ever that has my attention of like, I might actually want to give that a try just to see if I could possibly get quick into it.
I haven't had a
I
chance to
doubt it,
play it.
but maybe.
I mean, like, if I were to get into 14, like, I would have to seriously figure out how to
FF16, I was,
put away the time to play it, because MMOs, I mean, once you get going, like, you have to be like on it almost, a few hours a day
and
to
that's
keep
where I'm
up.
just like, I just want to see. I just want to see what the hell the storyline. What? So Final Fantasy 14, literally, you can play it like it's a single player game. You don't actually have to play it like it's an actual MMO. It's an MMO if you want. It's a very it's got like 6 different fucking expansion packs to it of like story driven content where it's not
Yeah.
multiplayer whatsoever at all. It is
Well, I was
story
gonna say kind of
driven.
like a ESO, but no, ESO is very
No,
MMO
no,
driven.
this is way more story driven single player based than even ESO. You pretty much everything that I've seen of it, other than like a few raids here and there, like major boss fight moments, you can do everything solo.
Hmm.
That's how Final Fantasy 14 is set up because they know that the majority of players don't like multiplayer games that are Final Fantasy players. Final Fantasy player base has been single player driven fucking player base since 1980.
Really? Just gonna grab me over and over.
Because there's no stun lock in here. Like I said,
Well, it was like I
yep.
the freaking lock on. Like I was trying to turn, I hit the wrong damn button, so I just kept flipping around and around and around.
Like I said, the fact that this fucking game, the way it's built, the way it's set up,
Yeah.
it's just not good. I had another FF16.
Yeah, I was gonna say because we're pushing that hour mark.
FF16 also. I mean, we knew this was going to push an hour mark anyways. There's a lot to unpack here. That there's a lot of shittiness, and this is one of these game talks for developers of what not to do. In all honesty, like this game is like a prime example of like what not to do. It's a lot of ideas, but the execution is just so. It's another one of these prime examples of like, okay, there's some ideas here. There's a lot of ideas here that I could see working if they had the right development team. But this development team, it just feels like they didn't have the vision to make it all work for whatever reason. Even though this game is, I mean, if this game was more of a copy paste of Neo, it would have worked better. The problem is it's only a half-baked copy and paste of Neo, so therefore you're only getting half of the goods, basically, with it. Now, Final Fantasy 16, if this game is making you wonder about Final Fantasy 16, I can tell you right now, it is actually like the AAA fucking big budget development team, the same ones that made 15, is making 16, and it's going to be on the Luminous engine, so it's going to be, expect 16 to be a lot of like Devil May Cry style combat, but also with the teleportation that we had from 15, and a lot more emphasis on like using your teammates along with all that fucking air combat. It's gonna be fucking insane, combat wise. Storyline wise, it's kind of something similar-ish to this storyline type of shit going on here, where it's like medieval families fighting over crystals. Whoever owns all the crystals owns the fucking the world, basically. Could be interesting. Could be interesting. I don't know. We'll see how that all works through. And so far, like one of the main characters, I'm just like, oh god, like, so one of the main things of the characters was the prince or the kid king in 16. I mean, he is he's a character that you have to watch out for a long time on the adventure until he starts to like blow up. And it's what the hell is it called? Plague Tale? Is that what it was called? The rats in France?
Yeah, Plague Tale.
it's a lot of that stuff, but except for it being a brother sister, it's a brother brother combo.
Okay.
So it's a very similar thing to that, where the littler brother, he is going to be the future king, but he doesn't know how to control his powers, and that's what they're trying to like. That's why they're sheltering him from everyone. And the older brother's trying to make a name for himself, basically, outside of his little brother's king status or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what I've gotten from the storyline of 16 so far. So if you're wondering if the storyline is going to be like this, no, it's going to be way fucking better for 16 than what you're seeing here in Strange Danger.
I just did a big ass donut.
So. Yeah. I think one of the things that we tend to skip over, just because I tend to skip over a lot, is the co-op in this too.
It is. There is a co-op option. Up to three. It's up to 3 people. So yourself and 2 others, and the other 2 come in as the other 2 people that you have in your team, but set up with whatever jobs classes you have. So whoever's like the host will be Jack, and then like the other 2 people. If I had 2 people come in, I'd have Dion and Sophia. They'd be playing as, but they would be set up in their specific job classes. If that makes sense.
Right. So
not the ones that you have set as, but the ones that the player has them set as.
So you have to use somebody else's setup and all.
No, you don't have to use somebody else's setup. You use your own.
Oh.
But you don't get to pick which character you play as.
Yeah.
You're stuck with whichever character they have as their teammates. And then you don't even get to pick between the 2. It just like you're this one.
I mean, I guess in a sense, like what are they gonna do? Have a triple Jack attack, or it's like if the host player flipped out who they're playing, leaves in the squad, then I guess you can customize like who the hell you play out there. Yeah, it's just kind of there then.
Yeah, and also if you are playing through and you just you're kind of that like, oh, I just want to. I expect to be impressed. Like, I just want to check out the co-op thing. Make sure if you're trying to do it solo, make sure you set it for like a specific mission, because otherwise, if it goes into a story mission that like your next mission in the storyline, it will complete it for you. Like if you completely go through it, it will be a completion on your end too. It won't be like. Yeah. Like Dark Souls, where you help somebody beat a boss, but it's still active in your world, kind of thing.
Well, no, I mean, this is Neo system, so that's the same thing happened to Neo. There's a part of me that's curious if this game, would it be more of a recommendation? Because, I mean, okay, so the rule of thumb is every game is more fun with friends, because friends are just, they stick around and they start. The whole thing of being, though, is storyline-wise, if you dick around, I mean, the story's half-baked, half-baked anyways. If you're dicking around, then the story, you're just going to completely skip past the story, not really know what's happening. This game might be passable if you're playing with friends. You're not going to get much of a storyline out of it, but it's passable with friends, because I can guarantee everybody's going to skip all the cutscenes.
Oh, so far nobody really has. Everybody I've been around with, especially missions that I've already beat, they don't skip the shit. They actually sit there and watch it. And sometimes it's kind of annoying when you've seen the same scene like 90 times already.
Yeah, well, welcome to co-op. Unless you play with people that you know. Yeah, I don't know. I think we covered it, pretty much everything on this. Oh, I played it on PC. You played it on PlayStation. PC, I definitely had some frame rate dips happening here and there, which is funny because Neo runs just fine. It's probably something that needs to be patch updated. It's having the same issue happened with kind of Ghostwire Tokyo a little bit too, which that one looks far. Wow. My God, if you have cash enough for one game and you're wondering between this and Ghostwire Tokyo, my fucking God, buy Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah, like, I would agree with that. From what I saw and played on the PC there, it looked good. I
Um,
I'm even sitting there kind of going, God,
like
if I had a PS5, I
like
probably would have got that
skip
over
the fuck out
this.
of this game. Um,
Here we
I,
are.
in all honesty, I think this might be the first game
Magnificent.
talk where I would say I would not recommend this game. Even if you are a Final Fantasy fan, I would actually
Yeah,
not
I
recommend
mean,
it.
it's a hit or miss, in my opinion, depending on how much of a Final
Even
Fantasy
if
fan you are. I mean, theoretically, if you really want to know what the hell the storyline is, like I've got a complete playthrough that's gonna be going up on
just
YouTube
watch it
along
on
with this
YouTube.
video, or you can just go look it up.
Just watch the cutscenes on YouTube. They'll
There
save
you
you
go.
fucking like 10 hours and $60. Yes, this is a $60 fucking title.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I would give this a month before it goes on sale for like maybe 30. This is gonna be one of these games that goes on sale a lot because it's half so fucking half baked. But yeah, I again I have a hard time recommending this at all. Even if I was, here's the thing, if I was more of a Final Fantasy One fan, like if I actually grew up with Final Fantasy One on the PS1 or something in the '90s with the remasters of the PS1,
PS.
um,
I was gonna say I played it on a
yeah,
little NES, man.
I know. I'm saying like the
Yeah, there
remastered
was a
version that they made for
remasters.
PS1.
I think it
I
was 5 and 6
played it on stream.
before 1 and 2.
Uh, there was 1 and 2. No, 5 and 6 were
Yeah,
original
because
releases on PS1.
five and
They were
six were
well into
God, because it's all
five and
back.
six.
It's really weird. It's kind of bass backwards because 5 and 6 in America were like 3 and 4 over in Japan or something like that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. The Japan releases back then. Yes, Final Fantasy 1 and 2 came out later. That's right. That's why they were remasters because they had to remaster it for English languages and everything. And then they were actually called
Hmm.
remasters in the U.S. and everybody's like, what the fuck? Um, but yeah, like I feel like if I was more of a fan of the original game that this is trying to go into, I would think I'd be even more pissed about this game. In all honesty, because it does absolutely fucking nothing for it. Like it does. For like I said, if this was leading into something that I really enjoyed and loved back in the day, it's so half baked. I'd be just more pissed.
Yeah,
um,
but definitely if you do end up picking this up and playing it through, do yourself a favor and find out a way to get a hold of Final Fantasy 1 and kind of like play through it either before or after. It doesn't really matter. So you kind of get the gist. So you're not
I would
completely
I would
lost.
100% say play this first, then play Final Fantasy One, or it's just this game is gonna be ruined because Final Fantasy One is gonna be a way better story. In all honesty, like Final Fantasy One, the original '80s fucking story, will ruin this game because it's so much better
Eh.
overall. If you want something that is a buffer, sort of. Again, I can't recommend this game whatsoever. It just made me go halfway through. Normally, I will push my way through games, even if they are shitty. This one,
Hmm.
I deleted. I'm like, this is just rough. This is one of those weird. This is one of these weird fucking things where I'm just like, I don't care to actually finish this. And as soon as I saw that you were, I hit that moment. Uh, it wasn't the Tiamat fight. It was just the whole like lead up to the fight where I'm just like, God, like my fucking God, I have to hit switches, and then if I die somewhere along this pathway up to Tiamat, I have to do the whole fucking level all over again. There's no checkpoints whatsoever, and then I get up to Tiamat, and there's no stun lock on the boss fight, and I'm just over here banging my head against the wall, like I'm just done. And I don't have the patience enough to do it. I don't care. And so I was just like, I'm done. And then you're coming up to the end of the game. That's when I'm just like, I'm done. I don't care. I just watched the ending. Okay, that's cool. Yippee! It ties in with the first game. I'm good. I don't care anymore.
Mm.
So, yeah, yeah, that was Stranger Danger of the. What did I say? My stream title. I kind of like my stream title. Stranger the Danger of Final Fantasy as Oranges. That's what my stream title was. There we go. And that's more enjoyment. I got more enjoyment out of that stream title than I did the actual game. So Sophia's hot. I'll give it that. Jack's a fucking idiot. Oh, we had one really good meme that came out of it. I'll give it that. Jack going
Oh, the chaos
bullshit and
counter
that
that you
reverb.
started.
Hmm? No, no, no. The Jack going bullshit. He turns around, he hits the button on his phone, and it does a reverb fart. That was probably the best fucking moment. That came from the game. Um,
uh,
no, the chaos counter was literally the annoyance of the game. That's what the point of that chaos counter was. It's just like, my fucking god, he's saying it again and again and again and again and
mm-hmm.
again and again. It's like, fuck off, Jack. You're so fucking annoying. It hurts. God. Um, yeah, I could go into a whole rant about the way the story is so fucking mind-numbing also, but we're at the 1 hour mark.
Yep.
Yeah, we have a one kind of rough recommendation. We have one that's a total stay as far away from this game as you possibly can. That might be a first time on Game Talk.
Yeah, I mean, we come at it from two
we're
different
pretty hyped
sides
up.
because it's a love-hate relationship on this game between us. I mean, it'd be like me reviewing Crash. It's just like, you know.
I mean, there's nothing really truly wrong with Crash. That's the fundamentals of the game work. That's the hard part about Crash is like, what can you really? I could see if the jump button didn't work. Okay, sure. Or if the spin actually didn't work or something. But Crash is so fucking simple. It's hard for it not to work. um, yeah, I don't know. I think I said everything I got to say.
Yeah, I mean, feels like we pretty much covered it all. Um,
Mm.
so
I don't know
that's
what
another
our
game
next thing
talk.
to be.
Come from different perspectives on it. Hopefully, like this and my. If you're watching this and you want to check the playthrough, you can probably just skip through catch screens if you want, because my playthrough streams are like 6 hours long apiece. So, but yeah, it'll all be put up there.
Highly recommend
And
just watching cutscenes.
yeah, probably. Um,
Strange the Paradise the movie. Go check it
there
out
you
on
go.
YouTube. About the much as the worth of damn this fucking thing is. But yeah, that's gonna do it. So go check out me over on YouTube, and if you want to see some good games, go check me out on
Ouch.
YouTube and Twitch and everything, where I play some mods. Sometimes my eyes blur out and I have to stop stream instantly. Other times we have good nights like Ghostwire Tokyo and have some fun. Yeah, it's been one hell of a road to recovery for me. Just been very sick. One hell of a virus I got. So should be in the very near future here having a lot more content on the YouTube channel and live streaming most every day on Twitch. I might be doing something with the rest of the Final Fantasy series. Final Fantasy VIII has been a treat to go through. I've actually liked it more and more the farther I've been getting through it. Definitely am going to try and mod Final Fantasy 13 in the near future, and do a playthrough of that. Final Fantasy 14, the online thing. I'll definitely be giving that a try. I cannot guarantee I'm going to like that because I know personally I don't get into MMOs, but I'm going to try and go to like the single player story aspect of it and just try and get as much out of that as possible because I've seen somebody else playing it on stream before, and that's what caught my attention. I'm like, oh, that's actually very single player driven. It's like most of it you don't have to do in like party raid style. You can just actually just do it solo, which I was like, huh, that's kind of cool. Outside of that, Final Fantasy 16, I'll probably do a launch night on that one and everything, as everybody's going to be doing. Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2, definitely be doing something with that too when that comes out. Possibly also FF7 Remake, more PC mods if they come out with some really cool stuff there. Yeah, so I'm like Final Fantasy is all over my channel also, along with this guy, even though he misses Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
What was it? You missed the anniversary of it or something?
Yeah, on 8. Yeah.
It was like,
I don't
fuck.
know if I'm going to be streaming much more of it because, I mean, there's so much damn storyline. Um,
Yeah, I'm just streaming chunks. So
yeah, like I'm pretty much to the end of that game anyway, so there's no point. Um, maybe 9. We'll see if I can make
There
time
you
for
go.
it with everything else going on. Uh, there's a good possibility of me going through 9 because 9 was one of my favorites. I really liked it.
I feel like 9 would be a great stream for you because it is fun to watch, and that storyline is all right. I've seen bits and pieces of that storyline. Like, that's all right. It's not my favorite thing ever, but I'm like, oh, I can see where there's a good story there. And this is where, again, this is so. Again, it's not that I fucking absolutely, like Stranger to Paradise. The reason why I'm going off on it so badly is because it is that bad. Something like Final Fantasy IX, it's not my cup of tea storyline wise. I don't think because it's like some dude with a tail or monkey guy or something like that. I'm just like, huh? Okay, it's kind of weird, but it's interesting. Again, there's a good story there. It's just not my full. Like I like FF7 and 8, where it's that kind of military. That's just the werewolf thing. So, but yeah, definitely. I'd definitely tune in for Final Fantasy IX stream. I think you'd be doing pretty cool with that. I totally just cut you off too. My bad.
I was just gonna say, like, you can catch me over on Frostbite and YouTube, and then obviously Frost_Bite84 over here on Twitch. Wolf did his
Mm-hmm.
thing. But yeah, oh yeah, 9. I was talking about 9. 9 was definitely
Yeah.
one of my favorites. Um, but yeah, definitely probably gonna run through that one. And who knows what's gonna be coming up, far as streaming wise, because right now, like, I'm working on, I might show off some Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe jump on PC Simulator and see how bad I can meld a PC. Uh,
Oh God, his budget management is already just
yeah, I already
terrible.
fucked up my first run.
Like,
Let's see what else I got on the list there. Dragon's
there's not
Dogma, Witcher
that much
3.
coming out. That's the other
Yeah,
thing
I'm
too.
glad we
Like
don't
it's
have much coming out right now because it gives me a
huge.
chance. Maybe, oh yeah, once we get around to it, Wolf and myself might be doing a. I don't know if we're going to be streaming it or it's just going to be recorded and then thrown up on YouTube. But we're talking about doing a
GM mode.
co-op, me versus him, GM mode for
Yeah.
WWE because I'm loving it. Maybe I'll do some My Rise or Universe mode or something like that on there so you guys can come razz my character and tell me I suck. Uh,
I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised because it's people. It's either people really love wrestling games or they go, this is boring. Where's Mortal Kombat? And it's just like, well, yeah. Um, but yeah, it's cool that you're enjoying it. I am definitely I'm gonna have definitely more WWE content on my YouTube channel too. I just put up a brand new video today, actually, about 40 minutes long. So yeah, should see a lot more of that coming. Anyway, we gotta wrap this up. I gotta grab
yep.
food and shit.
So
Um,
you know where to find us, all that jazz, and everything else. Keep your eyes peeled out for everything else, and you guys know the drill.
mhm.
So, till next time,
Thanks.
stay frosty.